you're happy, you're saying you're not concerned if it continues at 70,000 plus a year for however long?
Well, we're making adjustments at the margin because you know government can control the flow, but we want to do it in a way that gets the right mix of skills for the jobs that are there. I mean, if you get around the country, there's strong demand for people to do the jobs that are being created, and it doesn't matter where you go in the country, that's still the case.
Will your tweaks take 30,000 out of it annually?
I wouldn't think so, no. They're not aimed at doing that, because a 30,000 reduction in migration right now will stall the economy. It'll deprive businesses of the skills they need to enable them to make the investments they want to make to grow New Zealand. As I said, we're up for the challenges of dealing with sustained success and growth for New Zealand. And this way
that the New Zealand economy can grow is with immigration.
No, I'm not saying that.
It would stall if you cut 30,000.
Well, it would now, yeah. But it's not the only way to grow. I mean, you grow by, for instance, by diversifying your export base, and Labor's answer to that is to shut down one of the faster growing export industries, which is about exporting education. I mean, if you're going to say you've got to change the economy from focusing on commodities to focusing on knowledge, well, export education is as pure a knowledge export as you can get, and setting out to shut it down.
Your government has not increased exports as a percentage of the economy at all.
Well, one of the reasons is because the economy has been growing in such a sustained way.
Are you relying on immigration, though, to grow the economy? Is that what you are relying on?
No. What's driving the change in flows? Remember, just a few years ago, we were having a discussion about how many people were leaving New Zealand. And for the whole time, most of the time I've been in politics, the measure of success has been keeping people here. And the biggest single change in migration is fewer Kiwis leaving and more of them coming home. That's the biggest single change. We regard that as success, and we're willing to take on the challenges of investing and supporting that success. So how what?
If you are not relying on immigration to grow the economy, how is cutting it going to stall it?
Because the growing the economy the way it's growing right now needs a set of skills. Like, we need people to build houses. We need people to build infrastructure. The other day I was on a large infrastructure site, and it was informed that some of the tenders that have been coming out from councils now have no bidders, because there isn't the capacity to do any more work than is currently being done. And that's, you know, it is the longest, strongest construction boom, and it's going to go on for the next 4 or 5 years that we've seen in a long, long time. So we need these skills. We need these skills to build houses for the people who are here now. So we are going to have the Labor Party out there saying over the winter, look at the problems with the homeless, at the same time as they're cutting drastically the access of skilled people to come to New Zealand to build houses.
But your government is tightening the settings.
No, we're rebalancing it around this to get the right level of skills.
So you're going to be letting in more construction work?
Well, at the moment, it's basically if they apply, they get in. And apparently, according to the Auckland City Council, it's still not enough. They put out a report today wanting higher levels of intakes of people with trades. At the same time, same day, the Labor Party's putting out a report saying they're going to drastically cut it.
So any foreign construction worker who wants to come into the country can get in?
Basically, if they go through the right process, yes.
Have you had approaches from Auckland construction companies saying that that's not the case, that in fact they face a wall of bureaucracy in immigration in New Zealand, that your new restrictions, particularly the $49,000 wage limit, are going to make it very difficult to recruit people, particularly from the Philippines, and that there's a growing concern in Auckland that you're actually turning the tap off altogether?
Well, I mean, this just gives you the contrasting points of view, doesn't it? So we put out some proposals for consultation. We've had a range of feedback, so they've had plenty of opportunity to comment on them, and we've got decisions ahead of us. But I think what you're describing is much closer to reality than the view that the way to reduce immigration drastically is to shut down on construction visas and stop students coming who don't actually stay anyway. And in fact, if the main target is students, which I get from, for Labor is, I think they would argue is politically driven, they don't actually buy houses, and not a whole lot of them have cars, and most of them go back to the country that they came from when they finished their study, around 70 to 80%. So it's not going to have the impact that they claim.